Hello, everybody. Good evening. Hope you are all doing well. This is Dr. Rao Kalusu. Uh, I'm a physician, I'm an informatician, and also I'm a yogi. Kind of enjoying rather nice evening this afternoon. A lot of things were done, and one of the things I was coming up was how can we form these hacks that I've been gathering for better wellness in the human beings, in the society, and also the planet itself. You know, um, it's kind of stems from the ebook I did complete that starts with if each individual human being kind of self realizes, and that gives them the highest health and that health is spread over the society, because he's so happy inside, he doesn't have to do much of the consumer culture, and that thereby he takes a little of the resources possible, not a lot, and thereby he contributes the planet's health because he's not polluting and he's controlling on the gases that we are troubled about. Maybe it's a little too far ahead, but then still, it's what a good idea. One person can do that. I will be doing that, but inspiring and informing and involving and recruiting people into that kind of minimalism, at the same time finding the joy within. That's the key, right? Finding the joy and happiness within, and that encourages the minimalism. The minimalism encourages the planet's health. So that's a, it's not really complicated, just to live simply and think rationally within, and bring the joy and happiness already there from within, not in the simple outward things, right? So there's like an enlightened viewpoint that people can have it, and thereby they're not going after things that are really do not matter in the long run, and they're joyful. Okay. But even if you want to live long life, even if you want to live to see your kids and everybody to be having that kind of thing, it takes this kind of knowledge. And then it's not just the physical, scientific, reductionist knowledge, but also knowledge into what is the human intelligence can evolve into. That was demonstrated by the ancient cultures, right? You can always do that. Okay, welcome. So, John and Sanderson. So, I was really playing with this idea. What if uh, I gather all those hacks of ancient wisdom that are helping people with stress and burnout, and then really make a foundation and make it a structure so we can leave a legacy of wellness into the society. And maybe it will take a couple of hospitals and a couple of clinics to embark into that. Even now, when they have this quality care and Medicare, all that, it's not really touching that. It's a kind of more like a. I saw reports where it's supposed to be 100%, but then they're happy if you get 30% in the scores, right? Quality scores in the hospital. That's not acceptable to me because I enjoy a very nice wellness oriented lifestyle, and I'm having fun, but at the same time I'm having energy and I'm also having this enthusiasm to contribute. So that way I feel like it's worthwhile, right? Many people don't listen, but does matter because once you instill that lifestyle changes, many people will be benefited. So that's what I was thinking about it. So this book led to all that. When I wrote that book, uh, minimalism for revival of the earth, uh, an inner journey towards joy. That's the title I put it there. It is kind of, um, I don't know whether it is clear. The clear thing is you take an individual human being, and that human being finding joy and happiness within by going in and getting the self realization or short of it, then he will not be exploiting the earth's resources for his superficial pleasures, which of course anyway, and ultimately he finds his joy within. And because he is joyful, he will be able to reduce the consumption of the resources of the earth's valuable things, and then contribute less of the pollution, contribute less of the violation of so many things of the nature, right? And then that is encouraged with the families. And right now we are doing recycling. Everybody does recycling, right? That's an extension of that I'm talking about, um, like the lifestyles of how about growing our own food in a little bit, and how about using less of the chemicals and fertilizers, having our own compost fertilizer. How about eating at home instead of going and eating some chefs that is they are doing for money, versus maybe our wives and mothers can put in their own cooking, or we can help. I am a good cook too. I'm very proud of that. I can cook that too. Only problem is my wife beats me to it, and she does all the cooking lots of time. But we don't help, So I myself, by myself, when I was living in New York and Chicago, all the doctors are really, really very, very stressed out. So I used to make time to make a dish, and I call my one or two friends, and then we used to enjoy together. And that gave a big relief from our stress we are going through. It was stress. Residency was stress, very much so. But I had the means to handle that, right? That was what happened. So you can grow our food, cook our food, eat it, and also really contribute to the less use of the technology, detox game, all that, So these kind of things are very important. Okay, like I was talking about proactive wellness last night. And if you are proactive about these healthy measures that you could do yourself, and then if you are in a position of policy change, or if you're in a position of really enforcing some change on the society, maybe those kind of people can give a lot of value to this kind of lifestyle. Okay, I thought I would put all these things into something of a legacy that I can leave behind, and then people may improve on that, may really work on that, But meanwhile, I'm enjoying that the lifestyle, and what I'm proposing, like I don't drink, which is true. I don't smoke. I never smoke, and I keep silent most of the time, and use conscious thought most of the time. So keep my mind clean, and use tech in a prudent way, and not waste a lot of it. So all those principles are good. Just move the body and keep the mind silent, which I talk about all the time. I do that too, and uh, lots of cooperation, collaboration with other people, treat them for stress and burnout, and help them to lead a better life, better communication, better relationships, and all that. But there is a series of things that you have to do with each person. So it's not like one thing is applicable to everybody. The principle may be, right? You want to be well, you want to be well for a long time, and you want to be joyful while you are living long, not just existing as a vegetable. There are a lot of things have to come together for that. But then you cannot guarantee that. But some of the things that they really do, because there's one thing. A person goes to the office and he undergoes a lot of stress, but he doesn't pay attention to that, and suddenly his blood pressure is so high he has a stroke. That is something is still going on. Not only the people who are, like working day for the daily bread, they can't eat unless they work. To people who have a lot of money, there's a lot of prevalence of this kind of uh, unenlightened behavior, and then succumbing to these events. It could be a heart attack, it could be a stroke, it could be something, right? That kind of uh, laziness, or you could call maybe indifference, not more than laziness, indifference to the, and also lots of times may not be knowing that they are going through this disease process inside. Okay, so more frequent checkups, more in-time checkups, more kind of helping people for the sake of the health rather than making money. Those kind of things have to be understood. Right? So I am really excited about these kind of uh, thoughts, and I may not be able to do that, but I still am very much excited about these kind of things, and finding out things and writing things and all that. Okay, so I'm just putting in front of you, and I don't know how much will come out of it. But the ebooks and courses, all those things I'm doing are very minimal, right? We want our entire human tribe get these principles of advancements in our modern science. Sure, we are doing that to some extent, and the hacks that we are learning now from the ancient wisdom, because these things used to be pretty mysterious and also pretty clothed in cultural, religious, and parochial viewpoints that are not really applicable to everybody, right? Science, to some degree, it does, okay, but not the this wisdoms from several cultures down the line, right? So that's my mission. Let's combine all the modern things that are working with some of the things that they are superior at and they are very good at, especially about the mind. I am very fascinated about how well their minds were preserved, in the sense they are not neurotic, they are not psychotic, they are not anxious and all that. Okay, there is a certain lifestyle, certain things that they understood that we should. And the other thing is, uh, what is the relationship with the nature? That's really has to got to do a lot of mental health problems here, because people lost a connection to the nature. Only once in a while they may go to a vacation and they may watch a sunset or sunrise or whatever, right? Like, but mostly they don't have a relationship with the nature on a daily basis, right? So that can be cultivated. And meanwhile, I'm having a terrible natural disasters because of the global heat and then El Nino and all that. We're seeing that it's going to be much more hot coming year. And meanwhile, California got 200-year-old storms, right? And they are really got the beating in the last few days. So these are real though, and anybody who is concerned about these things would act to conserve our resources and live in a way that is compatible with our nature, right? Uh, I think I'm very impressed with the ancients, the way they live there, right? So many of the people don't want to listen to these things because they are so busy doing stuff, right? But then we need to make an effort to reach these people with information. With you don't have to push them or put a pressure on them, but you can present the data and let the data seep in and let the data do its work. So I'm very excited about the couple of projects I created for myself in the last few days, and I'm going to pursue them and see how far I can succeed at that. Okay, um, so Wellness, my definition is a little comprehensive, I think. When you take human being, I kind of divide into human and being. Human is, for me, body and mind together is the materialistic, material oriented human. The humor, where it comes from the elements, right? And being is the conscious being that has the spark which animates the body and mind. So if you take the body, obviously we want the body to be strong, and we want the body to be flexible, and we want the body to be energetic, and we want the body to be able to have the stamina to do a lot of work that we want to do, right? So it demands training. It demands keeping it in strong and flexible by doing daily stretching and asanas and walking. You can do any number of exercises, just not yoga only. But I'm partial to yoga, as you all know, because it has a lot more potential than many people realize, right? And so you have to have a strong, flexible, energetic body, and you should have a mind that is alert, aware, and really sharp and intelligent, having a good memory, and being able to really think clearly. All those things, right? Mental faculties, the focus, the concentration, the clarity, all that. And if you go to the heart, I want to have a heart that is compassionate, kind, and loving and giving, those kind of things, right? And if you can really understand the comprehensive nature of it, which is very good, right? Uh, and then if you take the spiritual, it's like an inclusive, it's like a interconnected oneness, and really understanding there's a unalloyed happiness within. So you be in the spiritual realm where you touch this kind of thing. So nothing to do with the materialistic stuff, right? That's a major thing from the ancient people to moderns is modern thing, everything outside, everything materialistic accumulation is a lot of them. They struggle a lot. Whereas the ancients, they deliberately made the external life simple and internal life much richer. Okay, so that's what we need to focus on. Okay, then once you have this comprehensive view of spirituality, then you need to have the fundamentals. Like don't make the body not to move, sedentary, and also don't make the mind run whichever way it wants, and then don't be harsh and hard with the heart, and then be kind and compassionate with the spirit and all that. Right. So these are, being a human being is that, right? Not being impulsive, not being cruel, not being violent, and all that, right? So once you have that wellness, and then we kind of nurture people like that, that kind of makes the society much livable, obviously, right? I mean, everyone knows these things, but the thing is, are we spending any time to make it manifest there among us, right? So physicians that are treating people, I think we have a duty to see the potential of our human being, the body, mind, and the spirit, how it can raise and really give a conducive life to this kind of holistic wellness, right? So that's why I was talking about proactive wellness. That's why I'm talking about corporate wellness. That's why I'm talking about individual, society, planet wellness. All these things, they're all blended very into our mind, into our life. It's not like a big deal. Okay, everybody knows about these things as principles, but how are you making them appear in your life? That's what I'm talking about. Okay, you can. There's a saying like a many people understand what is realization is, but how many people make it real in their life? That's the crux of the problem, right? And as you teach, as you practice, as you do things with people, you will pick up a lot of stuff. Those things I want to preserve in my writings, in my understanding so that people can easily grasp them and then go on living them and spread them in the society as a whole. Even a simple thing like a diet, there's so much problem. Okay, if you don't bend to your own tongue and you don't listen to it, and then don't let it tell you what to do, that means taste. That means the time and all the psychological cravings and all that, right? If you can get over and control that, how much health can you save, right? That's not a big deal. Everybody knows about it. So don't eat whenever the tongue asks you to eat, but eat when you want to eat, and you tell the tongue, "This is the time I'm going to eat." That's a simple concept, but because we are so unaware of it all our life, we develop this habit of eating because for the taste, and eating because we crave psychologically. And then once that becomes a problem and the physical body cannot digest this, cannot really keep it in control, you get the disease, right? And then you want to, even the smoking, everything is like that. Okay, so think about it, what I'm talking about, and focus on the wellness. Make it real in your life, in all aspects, your body, your mind, your spirit, your heart, and all that. Then uh, things like this will not become such a big deal. Suppose you have a tradition in the family that you won't uh, really indulge in taste that much as for the nutrition, then you can avoid a lot of problems down the line in the family. But then we go for the taste, we go for the occasion, we go for the pleasure, and that's where the food is kind of, you know, not really kept its place when it is coming into our thing, and then that's what happens. Okay, so. I'm really excited about these kind of ideas where I can promote proactive wellness, where we can bring the latest medical technology and use it, and then uh, latest biological markers or bio uh, molecular biochemistry or chemical nature of the milieu we work on. All those things are important. Microbiome is a big deal, all right? So microbiome, when they first hit it, people were kind of, oh, why are you talking about all the bugs in the gut, all the icky stuff and all that? But now they're drinking water that is made of the sewer and cleaned it, and then people are drinking it in California. And they are using water from the sewer, taking off all the fecal matter out of that, and then using for irrigation and all that too. So there are a lot of things happening because of the latest findings, right? You know about the microbiome, right? The microbiome is the 70% of our body has these microbiomes, and without them, we won't have this consensual living, and then people will die from disturbing it. How we are disturbing it is by taking a lot of antibiotics, a lot of fertilizers, and also our animals are fed so many antibiotics. So you are breeding uh, resistance of the microbiomes. Thereby, they breed their own uh, offspring that is really, really powerful. And that's how we are getting these epidemics and all. So it's all connected. You cannot say, I will do whatever I want without knowing it, and then say, I did not do it, because you have contribute to the microbial resistance by taking too many antibiotics, by taking too much food that has antibiotics in it, that kind of thing. So, if you can be really clear about what's going on around you, you will see lots of things. So, a lot of modern breakthroughs are happening. So, you don't want to alter that microbiome populations into very resistant bugs, so that will increase the incidence of more newer antibiotics, and then as the tolerance is developed into resistance, and the antibiotics will not be working for even common infections, and people are succumbing to that. The way that to be done is work on your resistance for the antibiotics by doing your immune exercises, food, and whatever you can do to improve your immunity will be good. So know about the microbiome, know about the latest trends, know, take the latest vaccines and all that. I'm saying all of that good, but then how can you not just act on the agent, which is your bug, on the environment you have to act, and also on the host, which is us. So improve your resilience by living this holistic healthy lifestyle I talk all about, and you can improve your vitality, your immunity, your resistance. Your resilience will be good. Thereby you can handle all these newer infections. Okay, so if you take one thing like that, you can go on explaining that how we are improving a lot of things, but at the same time we are falling away from it and then sacrificing the natural things that we have within us. Okay, so a lot of awareness is needed for this. Then you'll be able to. You don't have to be too adamant about it, but you have to really live that uh, good thing. For example, when the COVID has broken through, I was aghast when I saw so many people going around without any mask, and then they are doing all that because we don't have any treatment at the time. We have only novel virus. That means that virus was not in the human tribe ever. So first time it's coming, what it does, it has that capacity to invade your immunity because your immunity does not know that bug, right? So it succumbs very easily. But after all, once we got the herd immunity, now we can deal with something like that. But even now, things are happening. So many cases are. So each subsequent virus modification is stronger than the previous one. So that's why you have to be careful about that. Okay? So think of wellness in the realm I'm talking about. I'm talking about the comprehensive wellness, and I'm talking about wellness for everybody, and wellness as the primary thing, and then incorporate that into your lifestyle. And then reach out for the news of that. And then, like for example, my argument is very simple. If you are keeping wellness and like this, look at how much money you will save for your medications, hospital visits, clinic visits, and all that over the lifetime. You may have to forego certain things like alcohol, like smoking, and all those things that you consider as a pleasure. For me, they are toxins. If you are doing them, you are not having the pleasure nicely, but you are really paying a price for it down the line. Okay, so I don't advise that. I don't advise you to drink, or I don't advise to smoke. Right? Period. And also, obviously, all the narcotic drugs and everything, I kind of completely oppose them because I've seen the destruction it can do the humans, both body, mind, and the spirit. Okay, so live with a wellness thought. Think about it in your basic lifestyles of eating, moving, and exercising, and then sleeping. All those places you should be taking some of the hacks from the ancients. That way, a combination of modern science and ancient wisdom will work for you down the line. Okay, hopefully this made some sense to you. And anybody wants to come up to ask me anything, you are welcome to come. Otherwise, I'll be closing in a minute or so. Okay. So I think we were here for about yeah, close to 30 minutes now. Okay. So it would be nice to see some people follow, understand this enthusiasm and follow. Hello, Wendy. How are you? As I reflect on this proactive wellness and wellness foundation, I have a lot of thoughts coming up, right? A lot of exciting work we could do, and I'm going to do that. I'm very pumped up by those ideas, and what I could do with that. If anybody else is doing, that's fine too. But then many do that the regiment way, because they don't live that and then they talk about it. For me, I'm living that, and then I'm putting those hacks that I learned for the use of other people. So people may not be able to keep up with the rigorousness of it, but once you get used to it, you'll be like me. You'll be enjoying those hacks. Like for example, I was practicing just be silent, right? And that was not difficult at all. But once I fall into it, I don't want to come out of the silence, and I'm really working and doing all that, and that had avoided a lot of unnecessary complications at work, and that has allowed me to regroup my thoughts and then talk. So a lot of benefits are there when you cultivate mauna, that's the silence, right? And that is as a practice, right? You could do that, and then you are aware of what is going on in your mind, what's happening in front of you, where you need brief answer, where you don't need a brief answer. Like I'm talking here, if I keep quiet, I don't think you'll appreciate. You'll all go away. So I'm talking here because this is the occasion. I'm here to share some things which I'm talking about it. But even while you are talking, you can be aware of the silence between one thought and another thought. So if you can continue like that and catch that silence between thoughts, very soon you will be only silence and thought is coming occasionally. So easily people can reach that. Um, Main thing is you got to be silent in your mind. Don't allow so much junk coming to you. Then you have to express that, and all the speech will come. Remember, silence is the mother of the speech. When I first heard that, I was bowled over. I think Ramana Maharshi said that silence is the mother of speech. Then, as you practice speech, as you practice silence in between, the silence becomes like a uh, refreshing thing for you. And also, it allows you to fall back on what you're going to say and maybe modify it, maybe make it much more comprehensive, much more to the point. All those things are good. Okay. So it's a very important thing. And there is another saying. It's called manasa vacha karmana. What does it mean is, whenever you do stuff, any stuff, right? You got to do manasa. That is, by your mind, you should be sincere. And then vacha is by your speech. Vacha is speech. When you are speaking, it should reflect your true essence, not colloquial or not lying, even though you know it is lying. Okay. And the third thing is karma, that what you thought, what you are speaking, is the same you are doing. Okay, that's why manasa vacha karmana. By your thought, by your speech, by your deed, you should be aligned in the truth. Okay. So I hope all this made sense to you, and I will be seeing you again tomorrow with another version of my own, whatever you call it, and I'll be seeing you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye bye.